What's happening, Atlanta Bird Gang? It's your dog Toddy, man. Checking back in with you. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, peeps? How are we feeling tonight? How we feeling tonight, man? Coming on to do our player grades for the New Orleans game. You know what I'm saying? So how we feeling? The day after. I know none of us like to lose. Especially when we're playing the Baghead crew. So how we feeling after the loss, man? How we feeling after the loss? We done had over 24 hours to sit on it, to evaluate it. Some of us probably went back and watched the game. So how we feeling, man? How do y'all feel about the performance? Um, Getting swept by them this season, um, which I certainly do not like. Certainly don't like that get swept by them. So they got bragging rights for a full year. And they're gonna talk their junk. Just like we would, of course. But it's one of them things, man. And also unfortunately, man, they have now tied the all time series. It's now tied. A series that we dominated for so long. I think at one point we had a 10 plus game lead on them. And they messed around and got Drew Brees in free agency. Signed Sean Payton on as the coach. And unfortunately for us, they have been dominating the series against us. Going on what about almost 20 years now. Getting close to 20 years, 15 plus. So we need the tides to turn back in our favor. Because if you're anything like me, you don't like losing to that group, that football team. So hopefully we can get things back going how they used to be for us, and get back on the winning side of this series. Let's see who we got checking in. We got my dog Drady checking in. Say what's good, man. I think Desmond the future. He refused to give up. I'm gonna say Drady. I hope he's the future. But after one game, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I can't say it after one game. One game did not show me enough to really say he is the future. And then again, it was his rookie debut. So you don't even expect him to come out on fire his rookie debut. But for the sake of the franchise, Drady, I hope he does end up being that guy. That way, we can go ahead and start building a team around him. We'll have about 3 years, I think, left on his rookie contract, so we can spread the money in other areas. But it's gonna be interesting, Drady. I think the next three games will tell us a whole lot. Because I've been saying, Drady, like he gonna have a 4 game audition, and we've already played one of those games. So he's gonna have a 4 game audition, man, to keep competition away in the off season. And I think if the front office, coaching staff, if they don't really necessarily like what they see after this 3 game audition now, but after these next 3 games, um, I think we definitely going to see some competition brought in here in 2023. Whether that be a veteran free agency who they feel comfortable with, who they feel could come in here and start, or they're gonna just go draft somebody high in the first round, I think. But one way or the other, if they're not convinced after 3 games, Dredd, I think they're gonna bring somebody in here. And I keep saying this every time I do live streams, but everyone who's watching on YouTube, man, I'm sorry if the screen is like stopping or skipping, because I can see here on my end the notification, the Wi-Fi bars for StreamYard are teetering down, and that means like the the connection is unstable. I don't know what it is. I never had any issues with StreamYard since I've been using it. Well over, I think I've had it for like dang or 2 years now, and I haven't not had any issues with it until like maybe 2 weeks ago, and ain't nothing changed on my end as far as my internet connection. You know, everything else that's connected to like my routers are working absolutely fine. So I think this is maybe a StreamYard issue. I don't know what the deal is. So I apologize in advance if the quality isn't good, man. I don't know what to do. I restarted my router. I restarted my laptop. I don't know what the deal is. So again, if the quality isn't up to par, man, just bear with it. Normally it I guess catches itself and gets better over time, but sorry in advance, man. I don't know what the deal is. Who else we got checking in today? We got Mr. CDX for life. What's happening, bro? How's it going? Defense didn't give up big play, different game, and some bad plays in the first half. I think the defense was pretty good in the second half. Now the first half they came out just giving everything up. They gave up 14 points real quickly to New Orleans. Um, and maybe, damn, my bad, y'all. Hold on, my phone ringing. And maybe that was because New Orleans was at home, and they had that momentum going for them and feeding off the energy of the crowd. So maybe that helped them out a lot. Sorry, maybe that helped them out a lot. But after the second half, man, like we came and we started making some adjustments, so they ain't really get much on the second half. We didn't score by 18 points. So I think the last month or so the defense has been vastly improved, man. But as I was saying on Uncle Steve's show earlier today, we lack a lot of talent on defense, and I'm really hoping that free agency that's something we address. In fact, I'm sure it is. I'm sure we're going to address that. I just hope we made the correct signings. I hope we spend the money wisely with the right players. I guess what I'm trying to say. My dog Winston Thornton checking in. What's going on with you, Winston? How you doing? This is great content earlier. Anyone on the YouTube channel like the video and subscribe. Yes, thank you very much, Winston. I appreciate it. Everybody watching on YouTube, if y'all would do your boy, your dog, a big favor, man, just hit that like button. Just hoover over, hit that like button, man. It really helps our channel out on the back end, man. For the algorithm and also YouTube suggestions. It'll suggest the channel out to a broader audience. As I always say, man, we on that 1,000 subscriber grind, man. We over 300 now, but we got a long way to go. We're not even halfway there. So asking for y'all help. Like wants to say, hit the like button, man. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it in advance. You did. Mr. CDX for life says, got to put London in the weight room or take him to Busy or big. Need some soul food, play big. Yeah, man, we're gonna have to get some collard greens and cornbread and black eyed peas in his life, man. You know what I'm saying? He got to hold on to that ball, man. Like, bro, that's your second time fumbling in a very critical situation, man. So he got to fix that. You got to fix that out. If he was in high school, the coach would give him a football before first period and make him hold on to the thing all throughout school. So he got to fix that, man. And it's hard to be at a guy. It's hard to be upset with him when he's just trying to make a play. But man, you can't develop a resume. Excuse me, not resume. You can't develop a reputation of a guy who fumbles the ball in critical situations that really cost your team a chance to win a football game. And we've seen it twice in 14 games in his 14-game career. So he got to fix that, man. We'll write it off if maybe his rookie year jitters, but hey, next year, bro, like that got to be gone. We ain't gonna harp on it too bad because again, you are a rookie. But next year, Holmes, that you can't do that, dog. Come on, bro. That means you ain't clutch. You ain't a clutch player if you keep doing that. Brian, what's up, bro? Says you coming in good. Okay, cool, cool. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping in because, like I say, the bars are real low. What's your thought about the game, though, Brian? What's your thoughts? What's on your mind as far as the game go the next day after? Russell, what's up with you, bro? Says here's the situation I worry about. Desmond isn't very impressive the last 3 games, but he isn't exactly terrible. We draft we draft a quarterback in the first, and Desmond beats him out of camp. Bad optics, wasted first. That's possible. That's definitely possible. I don't know. If you take one early in the first round and Desmond beats him out in camp, I would I would hope or I would think the second year they had that competition again because a lot of times even quarterbacks who are drafted in the first round, a lot of times they don't automatically come out and start. Just like Trey Lance, he won't start initially. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It just depends on, I guess, the team and their situation at the quarterback position. But one thing about a quarterback is like real estate. Like real estate, you can always flip it. You can always flip quarterbacks. You know, if you got a quarterback that's somewhat decent, even average, I was flipping for another draft pick. It's just like buying real estate. You may buy real estate this year, and you may hold that thing for 20, 30 years, and you decide to sell. So that's kind of like quarterbacks, and that goes back to the when we had Matt Schwab, I'm talking about Schwab, Matt Schaub, and Michael Vick. They drafted Vick in the first pick, of course. And I want to say Schaub, y'all can help me out on this. I'm getting old, my memory ain't as great as it used to be, but I think Schaub was the second or third round. But they drafted him pretty high, and this is only a few years after they drafted Vick. And there was some within the fan base who thought Schaub was actually a better quarterback than Vick that could perform better on this team than Michael Vick could. There was never like a true quarterback controversy, but it was starting to bubble a little bit. I can imagine if we was on social media like we are now, it'd have been a real big thing. But back then, we went on Facebook and YouTube like that and Instagram. Um, but long story short story long is simply what we did is we just ended up trading Matt Schaub. So that's what I mean. You can always trade quarterbacks, and that's the thing about that position with it being so valuable. If either quarterback is just deemed average, or even they have potential, somebody will give you some good draft capital for it, or some good trade capital, I should say. Wednesday says full Pro Bowl roster will be announced on Wednesday 8 p.m. on NFL Network. I hope Chris Lynch makes it. He definitely deserves it. Honestly, man. Well, man, yeah, I'm sure Lynch gonna make it. Even playing for a bad team like Atlanta, like we are. Well, outside of our fan base, a lot of NFL don't give us no respect. He still should make it, man. Really, he should be first team All Pro. If he ain't first team All Pro, just throw away the entire list. That's the way I see it. Just throw away the entire list. Yep, Mr. CDX only set 7 points in the second, and we've done real good on that. Um, Last 4, maybe 5 games, making adjustments on defense and stopping teams from scoring on us. Mo Lewis in the building. What's up with your Mo? Drake London been a huge disappointment. I need him to be the best wide receiver in his class. Since he was first off the board, number 8 don't get too many excuses. The thing about that, Mo, is quarterback, man. Is who throwing him the ball. You go from a Mariota to a rookie playing his first game. And that's the thing about it. And that's what I be saying about Kyle Pitts too, man. And till we find like our guy quarterback, hopefully that's Ritter, but until we find our guy, man, gonna be hard on the pass catchers. And we're gonna be doing a lot of running. So, gotta get us a quarterback, man. And I think that'll solve a lot of issues on this team. And hopefully Ritter end up being that guy, man. That'll just take a lot of strain off the franchise in regards to the things that we're gonna need to do and how we're gonna continue to build a team. Just getting the right QB in here. And I guess only time will tell whether if that guy's gonna end up being Desmond Ritter. Um, Mr. Mr. CDX for license draft or the defensive line, cornerback, left guard, and defensive line again. So go heavy on defense, in other words. I feel you, man. I definitely feel you. I sure want to see the Falcons get to the point, man, where our defense is respected. You know what I'm saying? Respected and feared. You want your defense to be respected and feared. And I want us to get to that point. The last time I can remember us being like that, bro, was in 2017. And that only lasted a year. You know what I mean? Our defense was respected and feared in 2017, especially toward the end of the season. We had a top 5 defense in 2017, the last month of the season. They were top 8 or 9 overall, but the last month of the season, shoot, man, them jokers was top 5 defense. And they only gave up 15 points at home in a divisional playoff game to the eventual Super Bowl champs. Man, that 2017 defense was Super Bowl ready. Unfortunately for us, we did like we oftentimes do, choked in a critical moment in the game. What we had, y'all, like first and goal at like the 4. First and goal at like the 4. Had Tevin Coleman who had ran the ball and got us down there. We pull him out the game. Had 4 chances to score. Didn't do it. Last play, Julio falling down, Matt scrambling, ball go right through Julio on hands. Just typical Falcon stuff. But needless to say, what I'm trying to say is like, man, that defense was ready. So if we can just get a consistent defense like that, man, we'll be all right. We'll be straight, I think. Facebook user says, what's happening? What's going on with your Facebook user? How you doing? How's it going? What we at here? Mo says fumbling in crucial moments have nothing to do with the quarterback, bro. Lost his 2 games. Okay, yeah, I can feel you on that. I thought you were just saying like his production in general, but I understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying my best mode to like just giving that rookie pass. But yeah, like I say, year 2 and beyond, like that gotta stop, dog. Yeah, you know, we won't beat you up too bad on it now, again, because you are a rookie. But bro, like you say, 2 games that we could have won at the end, and my man fumbled the ball. But overall, I like Drake London though. I like what I see from him so far. I'll tell y'all who Drake London remind me of. I think I said this the other day. Drake London reminds me like of a modern day Michael Irvin. A lot of y'all young people, like maybe Rusty, probably don't remember seeing Michael Irvin play. But y'all who got a little bit of age on you, like me, Michael Irvin for the Cowboys, that's who Drake kind of remind me of earlier. Got some height on him. Got some bulk on him. I ain't saying he Julio or Megatron big, but he ain't no little skinny wide receiver. Got some size on him. Got decent speed. Surprising speed, football speed. But he ain't no burner like a Tyreek Hill. But physical, plays the game very, very physical, and got this little attitude about him too. That's how Michael Irvin used to play. That's who the Champagne Poppy reminds me of. Russell says defensive line, cornerback, wide receiver, defensive line. You think we should bring Casey Hayward back? Because Hayward only gonna have 1 year left on his deal next year, Rusty. And I'm assuming he ain't gonna play no more this year, so he'll have 1 year left next year. I think he's gonna be 34 years old at the time. So I'm wondering, like, do you bring him back? A part of me, I mean, it's too. I have varying opinions on that myself. A part of me says, well, man, Father Age about to caught up with him. He can't even play this year. He's gonna be a year older next year. Go ahead and cut him, and save money on the cap. Because if we do cut him, it's only like a $2 million dead cap here, right? $2 million. And we save we save $5 million on the cap. So that'll give us even more money on the salary cap while we only take a 1 year, $2 million dead cap hit. So for a team with as much money as we're going to have going forward, there's really nothing, especially being that we're going to save over double that on the cap overall. Then the other part of me says, well, bro, you see how bad your cornerbacks are as far as the depth position goes? When AJ and Hayward went down, man, we were just trash at the cornerback position. So can we really afford to lose a quality starter? So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do as far as that goes. It's gonna be interesting to see though. Winston says with Tannehill injured, he probably will be playing free agency. Not that I'm advocating for him, but Arthur Smith go out to players he's previously coached. As far as Tannehill goes, I think it's a savings for Tennessee. I think money wise for Tennessee it evens itself out. I think if they were to cut him, I think it's about $18 million dead cap hit, and I think they'd also save $18 million. So it really just cancels each other out. They don't gain or they don't lose anything. If memory serves me correctly, I think I'm pretty sure about that. The only thing about that though, personally, I'm not too sure they're gonna get rid of Tannehill because Malik Willis, that's what backs him up. And from what I've seen from Malik when he started, like, man, he ain't there yet. He ain't there. And I don't think with Derrick Henry, still being effective, I don't know. I don't think Tennessee would do that with such an uncertainty as his backup. I'm going to assume they want to give Malik Willis a little bit more time to see what comes of him. William Paul, what's up? William says, okay, you talking to Rusty. But what's happening though, William? Facebook user said, I believe we don't talk enough about the continuous lack of separation our wideouts fail to get regardless of the defense they're against. Look at Facebook user. So you obviously in our Facebook group. Look at my post. Now I'm not saying that we got Julio in his prime, Roddy in his prime, and Tony Gonzalez in their prime, but I don't know if I can really buy that too much. Because yesterday, Ritter had like 4 opportunities to hit a guy who was open, and he didn't throw it to him. Instead, he threw to coverage, and it was a pass incompletion. He completed one of them, though. I ain't gonna lie, but he made the pass a whole lot tougher than it should have been. So I don't know about that, man. I just don't know about that. I don't know if I'm ready to buy that yet, Facebook user, because a lot of that depends on the quarterback, believe it or not. A lot of times when they talk about great quarterbacks, they'll say, well, yeah, he can throw the guy open. And that's what those great quarterbacks who have that arm talent, that's what they can do. They can put the ball in places where the receiver can get. So I'm not really sure if I'm ready to buy that one yet, man. Even when Mariota was here, when people were trying to say that Kyle Pitts when running good routes And then I go watch the game and I'm look like, man, Kyle Pitts is wide open. Mariota just missed him. Like, what are people talking about here? You know? So I'm really not sure if I'm ready to buy that one yet, man. One thing about Atlanta that we've had over the last 20 years continuously is great to good. No, bump that. Great pass catches. So I don't know if I can buy that one yet. Yeah, after that game, man. To be honest, since they both gone now, but after that game, I was officially done with the Matt Julio era, bro. I knew at that point it was over. When we choked the Super Bowl and then we lost in the playoffs, I said that's it. I said to myself, they ain't gonna never get back close again. That's it. The thrill is gone with that squad. And that's when my tide started to turn and I started being like a real vocal that we needed to move past Matt and Julio. Because I just knew at that point like it's over. It's done, bro. They're not gonna win a Super Bowl. It ain't gonna happen. You don't come that close 3 times, and then all of a sudden you get it right. That's it. NFC Championship game 2013, Super Bowl. Then 2017, I knew it was over. I definitely knew it was over. Tim Hills is in the building. What's up with you, bro? Says Drake will probably end up with 8 to 900 yards. What about 7 TDs with a terrible throwing quarterback in the first 3/4 of the season? I can't be mad at Drake's season overall. If he was even a solid above average passing quarterback all year, we're probably looking at a rookie with 1K plus and 10 touchdowns. I totally agree with that, Tim. Totally agree with that. And that's why I say overall I like Drake. I like Drake London. Don't like the fumbles at the end of the game, but like I say, I guess that comes with being a rookie. But I like Drake, man. I like Drake. Drake London, Drake London's better than I thought he was, to be honest. Ain't gonna lie, I didn't watch a lot of him in college. But when you watch him compete against his peer group, Drake London is a lot better than I anticipated he would be. A lot better. Miss CDX says 97, 63, 24, 94, 25 got my votes for the Pro Bowl. Yeah, we gotta vote for our players too, man. We gotta go vote for our players in the Pro Bowl. I'm gonna drop a link in our group too. We gotta vote for our players, man. Facebook user Ty Jones, I know Ritter is a rookie, and I respect everyone. I did that Facebook user. Facebook user says everyone's opinion. Hold on, everyone's opinion on him, but I think we need to look at Levis for a quarterback. I like Levis as a prospect, man. Some people be killing me about that, but I like Levis. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Levis. A few quarterbacks I like. I like Levis. Of course, I like Bryce Young. Bryce would be my number one, but I don't think we're gonna have a chance to get Bryce unless we. Well, anyway, but I like Levis. I like Bryce. I like Hendon Hooker. I'm starting to like CJ Stroud more. At the beginning of the year, I was like, I don't know about CJ, but I've come around to CJ. But I do like Levis. I like Levis now. And the people in our Facebook group, they'll tell you, boy, I've been on Levis since last year. Before people started to talk about Levis, I started talking about Levis. I like Levis. He's not a really a popular prospect, I don't think, in the Falcons community. But the reason that I like him, I'm gonna tell you why I like Levis. I like him because I think he would fit what we like to do schematically is on offense. Obviously, Arthur Smith likes those athletic quarterbacks, right? He likes a quarterback that can run like RPO or run those bootlegs. So if y'all notice, he sent Ritter on a lot of bootleg passes. So he likes athletic quarterbacks. That's Levis. Also, Levis has a real big arm. He can sling that ball, sling it. He's tough, big. he has some things mechanically that he really needs to work on. And that's gonna come with time. Just like Ritter has things he needs to work on mechanically. That just comes naturally with rookie quarterbacks. They gonna come in the league and they got a lot they got to work on. But that's one reason those are some reasons that I really do like Levis. And he playing at Kentucky. There's not a lot of talent around him that he played with in comparison to a Georgia, Ohio State, um, teams like that, Alabama. So I do like Levis. Like Levis. Johnny Rose Jr., what's happening with you? Coach R. Smith and Ragone need to keep the running game with the rotation of playmakers and even tight end. The offense needs to score more points. 60 minutes football, defense, offense upgrades in the offseason. I agree with you on that. And then and see that's why I like getting the right quarterback is so important so we can score more points. Because trust me, being able to run for 200 yards rushing in the football NFL game, that's fantastic. But you're typically not gonna be scoring a lot of points. You're gonna control the ball, granted, but a lot of times you ain't gonna put up a lot of points. So we'll see how that goes. Rusty says your video last Monday about McGarry changed my mind. If the number is right, I would resign him. Him and Chris Listen were boys before Atlanta. Don't want to mess with the chemistry on the O line. Yeah, and Rusty, I always been like the biggest Caleb McGarry hater in the world, bro. I just thought, like, man, this is one of the biggest busts we done drafted. This guy can't block to save his life. He's just big and sorry. But this season, he changed my mind. The boy been balling. Got to give him credit. And like you say, I don't want to really mess up the chemistry, man. It's hard to find competent tackles, man, in NFL. It's hard, like people were very critical of Jake Matthews, and I normally come to Jake Matthews' defense. I like y'all, he's serviceable, he's decent. You it may seem like it's gonna be easy to replace Jake Matthews, but do y'all not know how long we've been searching for tackles? Y'all know how long, because they all ain't gonna be Pro Bowlers, they all ain't gonna be all pros. But trust me, tackle is one of the toughest positions to fill with adequate talent. It's not like a wide receiver. It's not like a cornerback. Playing tackle is a very tough job in the NFL. That's why they make the big bucks. Once you get past quarterback, pass rushers, tackles. They're right there with wide receivers, tackles. You got tackles making $20 million a year now because it's not an easy position to find quality play. So that's why I always been a Jake Matthews defender. It's not like I'm a big Jake Matthews fan or he like my favorite player or I just think he's a great football player. I just understand that he's serviceable. If you get the right people around Jake Matthews, you can win a Super Bowl with a tackle like Jake Matthews. He's not going to go out there and just get 3 and 4 pancakes a game, but he's not going to give up 2 and 3 sacks a game either. He's serviceable. Above average. And sometimes it's all you need, And he don't miss no games. You don't be injured. So, but yeah, like you say, the number is right. Hey, man, keep Caleb McGarry. Go ahead and re-sign him. Don't even mess around with it because we don't want to get back in that position where we search another 20 years to find another tackle. Or we paying a free agent money and then they end up being a bust. Let's just get to it. Go ahead and play him. Pay him, excuse me. Mr. CDX, hold on. London the dog, just not grown man strength yet. Yeah, you're right. Give him about 2-3 more years with them NFL trainers and nutritionists. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be ready, man. He gonna be ready. Mr. CDX also yes, when Hayward was in the defense line, was better, got more sacks. Yeah, and Hayward been gone. Hayward been injured for a minute. What happened to Hayward, y'all? What is his diagnosis? I mean, what's his injury? Like, what did he hurt? What did he hurt? Mo Lewis says Olave and Wilson been better than London. Dotson and Watson too. them tables got to turn. Got to get a quarterback, man. Like, telling you, bro, like, Mariota, I'm going to take Rid out the equation because he only played one game, so he don't really count as far as London's production. But, Mo, when your quarterback is averaging 170 yards passing the game, bro, you got to remember Kyle Pitts was playing also most of the year. But if you were averaging 170 yards passing the game, you started dividing it up into receivers. Like he's not gonna look up to his potential because the passing game ain't there. It just ain't. You know, I'll give you a basketball analogy. If we talk about a basketball team, and a guy has a potential to score 30 a game, but he's only in 7 shots a game because of the offense, he's gonna look kind of disappointed because he's not getting enough shot attempts. And I don't know if that analogy made a lot of sense, but that's what I'm just trying to say about Drake London. If you're only throwing the ball for 170 passing yards per game, that's not a whole lot that Drake can do about that. Dravis A. Card, what's up, bro? Says, I say he reminds me of Mike Evans. I see that too. I definitely see that too. I definitely see that. I think we should let Casey go. We can find another cornerback free agency and draft next year draft class. I could go for that. Like I say, you're going to save $5 million on the cap, and it's only a $2 million dead cap hit. So I can go for that. His age next year worries me too at 34 years old, man. Man, them young wide receivers, boy, 20, 23, 24, 25-year-olds, man. You 34 trying to keep up with them, boy. But we shall see. I wouldn't be surprised that they let him go. Tim says quarterback play has to be considered in that equation. I think you're talking about Drake London, and so I definitely agree. Definitely agree. West Thorne says, I think Will Levis will be next year's Malik Willis, another project quarterback. If we can't go Stroud, Young, or Hooker, I think we should wait and get a quarterback the following season. The thing, like, this is my thing whenever someone says wait and get one next season. You don't know how things are going to play out next season. You don't know how next year's class is going to look. You don't know where you're going to be drafting at next year. Hypothetically speaking, like right now, based on our record, we could possibly have the 6th NFL draft pick after tonight's game, depending on what the Rams do tonight. So right now we're in that ballpark. Okay, you're in prime time quarterback draft position. Let's just say we were draft number 6, just for the vibes, for the good vibes. And this is considered. I mean, of course, you never know until they get in the NFL, but this potentially can be a very good quarterback draft class. And right now, where we're at in the draft order, we're right there. We're right there. Now, next year, hypothetically speaking, let's say the Falcons mess around and they go 9-8, something like that. 8-9. You end up drafting 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th in the draft. Now it's not as easy to get that pick of the little quarterback. If the plans are to get one the next year, now you got to finagle to try to get to the top of the draft. And when I mean finagle, now you got to try to trade up. And when you start trading up in the draft, once you get trading up top 10, top 5, it's going to cost. It's going to cost a whole lot. That's why a lot of people were so upset that the Falcons didn't take one in 2021 because they was already there at number 4. So that's why a lot of fans criticize Atlanta's decision-making, what they did in the draft in 2021, because they're like, you already there. You had a quarterback sitting here waiting for you to draft him. Why you just didn't get him when you was there? You didn't have to trade. You didn't have to do nothing. So when you say wait till next year, that I always have like reservations about that strategy because you don't know how things are going to play out. But if you already here, you're already there, and you got one or two that's available, I feel like you just got to go ahead and get them because you never know what that following season how the numbers gonna play or where you gonna be drafting at. Receivers definitely not consistently against separation. I might do a film study this week if I feel up to it. Cause I went and watched the game again early today, and I got some film that'll totally dispute that. So I might do a film study on that. And again, I'm not saying we got prime Julio and prime Roddy, but I think receivers not getting separation. I think that's overstated. To be totally honest, I think that's way overstated. Because just yesterday alone, I got at least 4 plays I could just pull up and say, "Look at here." And I posted one of them in the group. Look, this dude wide open. This dude wide open. He's open. He's wide open. We just threw to the wrong man. But I personally, I just think that's overstated. Swore he was locked on number 5. He had 11 targets. Everybody else had 3 targets. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He was forcing the ball to him. Forcing the ball to him a lot of times. Facebook user extremely disappointed coach staff for the development of Ritter. Purdy is the perfect example as far as London goes. He's good. Big receivers have a good chance of becoming good. Burks is a good example. Yeah, that's a good comment too. So CJ lost to Michigan twice. He's the worst quarterback out of them all. I don't know. Personally, I don't let who you lose to determine to me if you're a good or great college prospect because that's like a team game. So that's not like a big determining factor to me. Because let me give you an example. Give you a good example of that. What I mean, I'm gonna use my team as an example. Georgia Bulldogs beat Tennessee, but you think I'm gonna draft Stetson Bennett over Hendon Hooker if I had the chance? Does that mean Stetson is a better quarterback than Hendon because he beats Tennessee every year? He beat them the last 2 years. So just because one team beats the other, that don't automatically mean the quarterback is better. It just means the team is better. Because like I said, if I had the chance, I'm not gonna draft Stetson Bennett over Hendon Hooker. And Mo, I'm a big time Bulldog fan, just like I'm a big Falcons fan. So I don't let that really determine my evaluation process. Christian Graham in the building. What's up, Christian? My bad, bro. This is Chris Graham that made that comment about Levis. I know we both agreed about him and his size, and he already been exposed to the NFL playbook in Kentucky. Thank you, bro. That's something I forgot to mention. Levis is already really running our offense in Kentucky. Y'all go look at Kentucky and then go look at our offense. He's already running our offense in Kentucky. That's another reason that I really like Levis. Torn pectoral. Oh, just like True Fun. God, that's hard to come back from. You 34 already. Woo! Boy, we might need to let him walk. We might need to let him go and walk. Get that $5 million. Top quarterback prospects for 2024. What's happening with your Davis? Is Caleb Williams, USC, Drake May, UNC, Michael Penix Jr., Washington. He pretty good. Only Williams is better than anyone in the draft, and we don't know what's going to happen with New Orleans and Tampa because they would take a big step back. Yeah, like we said earlier, New Orleans is going to be in salary cap trouble. They're going to have to drop a lot of people. Nathan, what's up, Nate? How you doing, bro? Says definitely would put a second on Hooker, to be honest. You mean second round pick? I like Hendon Hooker, man. I really like his game. Hendon might be the most pro-rated quarterback in the draft. All right, y'all, let's get to these grades, man. Let's get to the grades. Let's get to the grades. Miss CDX, to keep content coming, rise up. I definitely will, bro. I appreciate you watching, man. Thanks a lot. All right, so let's get to the grades, y'all. We always start off with the defense, so we shall not change that today. What we do, we're gonna grade our players on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being, of course, the absolute worst. You're trash, you're garbage. Take off your helmets and your shoulder pads. 10 means you played a perfect game. Perfection. So that's our grading scale. 0 to 10. We'll start off with defense. We won't do everybody because we don't have the time, but we'll do as many as we possibly can. So who shall we start with? Let's start with let's start with Lorenzo Carter, y'all. Lorenzo Carter yesterday had a total of 5 total tackles, 2 solo tackles. He assisted on 3 tackles. He had a half a sack yesterday also, and a quarterback hit. Again, we are grading Lorenzo Carter. He had 5 total tackles, 2 solo tackles, a half a sack, and also had 1 quarterback hit. So, what grade would y'all give Lorenzo Carter for yesterday, please? What said I had Hook in the first to the injury? He probably will not be ready at the start of the season. Yeah, I'm sure that injury changed a lot of people's draft status of him. Davis has 7. Hold on, 7. He's setting the edge. Won't show up in the stats, but it was important. I agree with you. I think he played real good yesterday, even though we lost. Russell says a 6.5. Norman, what's up, bro? Norman has him coming in at a 7. And again, we are grading Lorenzo Carter, y'all. Any other grades for Carter? Lorenzo Carter scale of 0 to 10. We're grading Lorenzo Carter. Winston says an 8, even though the numbers wasn't crazy. His pressure was felt yesterday. Yep. That's kind of what I mentioned to David just a moment ago. I think he played a good game yesterday. I think he played a pretty good game. Jay Jones, what's up? Says, keep in mind Dean was out yesterday and Frank took over at defense coordinator. I think Frank did good, man. I think they did good. Maybe that'll help him get a defense coordinator job in all season. You know, maybe that'll help springboard and get his name out there. Any other grades for Lorenzo Carter before we close the voting? So let's tally these up. 6.7. So he's right at around for Lorenzo Carter. About a 7.3, 7.4, which is a pretty good game. Good game. Pretty good game. You know, could have been better, but you know, definitely not bad. Good, solid game. And like I said, a lot of stuff that he was doing did not come up on the stat sheet. So good game there for Lorenzo Carter yesterday. Next, let's go with Big Grade Jarrett next, who was upset at his PFF grade. He kind of subtly was very subtle and called out PFF on Twitter earlier today. So obviously Grady does not like the grades that he gets from PFF. So maybe we'll do him better. Grady Jarrett yesterday, 5 total tackles, 2 solo tackles. He also had a half a sack. He also had 1 tackle for loss. As well, he had 1 quarterback hit. Again, I'm gonna give you those numbers again. Grady Jarrett, 1 quarterback hit, 1 tackle for loss. He had half a sack, 2 solo tackles, 5 total tackles. What grade would y'all give for Grady Jarrett's performance yesterday? Scale of 0 to 10. And again, y'all, we are grading Grady Jarrett. David says 7. Doubled all day, not his fault. No one won one-on-ones. Yeah, you're right. They definitely had a double team on it. That half a sack he had, he got doubled on that play, and he still bust through the line. Norman gives him an 8. Winston says a 9. Grady went all out yesterday. His smoothness made, his smoothness make his play understated. So pretty much you saying he's pretty much underrated in a sense. Jay Jones is 8. He was being held every other play. He always be getting held, man. They be holding Grady so much, and we don't never get them calls. And again, y'all, we are grading Grady Jarrett. Any other grades for Grady before we go on to the next player? Grady Jarrett, a scale of 0 to 10. All right, so let's tally up these numbers for Grady real quick here. Give me just a second. I lost my screen. Did I? Oh, there we go. All right, so we got 7. So Grady right at about an 8, y'all. Very good game from Grady yesterday. Even though PFF, put him in the 50s, what we saw, we give him an 8. Very, very good game for Grady Jarrett. Made plays, his presence was known, and he also made it easy for others also. So, as he always do, very, very good game for Grady Jarrett. So now let's go to who should we go to next, y'all? Let's go to Abdullah the Butcher Anderson. Let's do Abdullah Anderson. I think this is gonna be our first time ever doing Abdullah. Excuse me about that, show. My fault. Abdullah Anderson yesterday had a total of 6 tackles, 2 solo tackles, and he assisted on 4 tackles. So that's Abdullah Anderson had a total 6 tackles. He assisted on 4 tackles, 2 solo tackles, no sacks, no tackles for loss. So what grade would y'all give for Abdullah the Butcher for yesterday? What's y'all grade for? Jay gives him a 7, says he's still learning. David gives him an 8. Not his fault. Our linebackers took bad steps. Our linebackers had kind of a rough game yesterday, probably outside of Evans. Russell gives him a 5.5. Norman gives him a 7.5. Winston gives him a 7. He is definitely earning his spot in the rotation next year. Yeah, I agree on that, man. He should be better next year too, I think, Winston. So that's something to look forward to. So let's tally this up real quick. So Abdullah's right at about a 7.3, 7.4, maybe a 7.5, and we being real generous. So he's right around with what we gave Grady, which again, very good game, son. Very good game, showing us a lot of potential. Keep playing like this. Like I say, yeah, that's more reps next year, and that's building blocks going into next year also, and hopefully we can get our defensive line solidified. So very good game by Abdullah the Butcher. So let's move on to our next player. We're gonna go with let's go with the Hawk. Let's go with old Jalen. Jalen Hawkins, one of our safeties. His stats are as follows: 6 total tackles, 5 solo tackles, no interceptions, no passes deflected. So, no, excuse me. Let me take that back, y'all. I was not reading Jalen Hawkins. Sorry about that. Jalen Hawkins had 6 total tackles, 4 solo tackles. He had 2 passes deflected, and that's Jalen Hawkins. A total 6 total tackles, 4 solo tackles, 2 passes deflected. What grade would y'all give Jalen Hawkins for yesterday on the scale of 0 to 10? David gives him a 6, got better in the second half. Winston gives him a 4. Only good play he had was in the fourth quarter pass breakup. Jay says 7.5. He made some key plays. Norman gives him an 8. And we grading Jalen Hawkins. Any other grades coming in for Jalen Hawkins, y'all? All right, so let's tally these up real quick. He's around a 6.5, 6.6, 6.7. A little bit of 6.5 or maybe a tad bit higher. Above, definitely a above average game. Fairly good, I'll say. Above average, fairly good. Definitely room for improvement. Could be better. Like David said, came on in the second half. But definitely can play better. We'll be going to year next year, so need to turn it around, and I think be more consistent. Let's go to his tag team partner next. Richard Grant. Richard had a total of 6 tackles, 5 solo tackles, no sacks, no tackles for loss. And again, that's Richard Grant that we are grading. Had a total of 6 total tackles, 5 solo tackles, no interceptions, no tackles for loss, and that's Richie Grant. Also, I do got to point out Richie was out of position on one of the Saints' first 2 touchdowns. Took a horrendous angle also, and I don't know what he was doing. but what do y'all give Richie Grant? Well, his grade on the scale of 0 to 10 for Richie Grant. Davis says a 1. His blown coverages led to 14 points. Yeah, he I don't know what kind of angles he took and why he was sitting there gambling and giving up that touchdown. I don't know what he was doing yesterday, early in the game. Norman gives him a 3. Winston gives him a 5. Terrible angles. Yep, I agree with you on that, Winston. Terrible angles and too many missed tackles along with the halt. Yep. Our safeties be inconsistent when it comes to tackling sometimes. Be real inconsistent. So we grading Richie Grant, y'all. Any other grades for Richie Grant? Richie Grant. So we'll tally up his numbers. Let's see. He got 1. So he's about 2, like a 3.5 would be his average, which is bad. That's a bad game. You had a bad game, very bad game. Give us some real big plays, blown coverages, bad angles, missed tackles. So bad game for Richie Grant. Bad game. I agree, Winston. They are not afraid to hit. They just scared. Yeah, I agree with that. Be arm tackling. You see a lot of arm tackling out there. So I totally agree with you on that. Let's see here. Next, we're going to have, let's go with old Troy Anderson, our rookie. Troy had a total of 7 tackles, 5 solo tackles. He assisted on 2 tackles also. Again, Troy Anderson, total 7 total tackles, assisted on 2 tackles, had also 5 solo tackles. What grade do y'all get for Troy Anderson for yesterday, please? And we are grading Troy Anderson, y'all. What grade do y'all give him on scale of 0 to 10? Davis is 5. They spun him around all day. They did. And I be saying that David, he gotta work on sharing blocks, man. I think through most of the season, now that the season is almost over, that's probably Troy's biggest weakness is shedding blocks, getting off blocks. And sometimes he takes bad angles, which I assume he thinks his speed will make up for it. But he definitely got to work on that. So Troy Anderson. Let's see here. Norman says a 6. Jay Jones says again, good player still learning. I would say a 6 also. So any other grades coming in for Troy Anderson, y'all? Troy Anderson. We are grading Troy Anderson. Winston says 6. If he doesn't learn to take on blocks, his position will change. Yeah, you're right. You sure right about that. You can't run for them blocks as a linebacker, bro, especially in the middle. He'll be better in the star role like Jamal Adams. So let's get our grade here for Troy. Let's see. 5.5. He right at about a 5.7, 5.8. Slightly above average, man. You teetering toward a mediocre game. Slightly above average. We feel like you can do better. Definitely not good enough to be a long-term starter. So definitely got to get better, Troy. Our last player on defense we're going to do will be Rashawn Evans, our leading tackler for throughout the season. So Evans yesterday had 10 tackles, 5 solo tackles. He assisted on 5 tackles. He had 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit. And again, that's for Evans. Let me give you those numbers once again. Rashawn Evans, 10 tackles, 5 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit. What grade would y'all give for Evans for yesterday's game? And this is our linebacker, Rashawn Evans. Davis is 7, only linebacker that played worth a damn. I agree. I definitely agree. Facebook user gives him an 8. Norman gives him an 8 also. Any other grades coming in for Evans? All right, so let's tally up this average real quick. So that's a 7, 7.5. So 7.7, 7.8. That's a good game. Hold on, we got another coming in. We got Winston with a 9. Said that man has earned a long-term contract. I think he has around 140 something tackles on the season. I think he's about right too. And we got 3 more games to go, man. So he got more time to add on to that tackle total. So with your grade, that's going to put him right at about an 8. Very, very good game. Very solid game. And that started to become commonplace for Edmonds also. And like Winston say, hey man, you may have to approach that guy and get him a 3 or 4 year extension at the end of the year. He's not that old, and he has played well for Atlanta most games. So I've been impressed with him. So another good outing for him. So that'll wrap up the defense, y'all. Let's go through offense real quick. We won't do but 1 wide receiver, being that we threw the ball less than 100 yards, so it only makes sense just to do 1 wide receiver, and that's going to obviously be Drake London. So Drake London yesterday had a total of 7 receptions, 70 yards, 10 yards per reception. His longest catch of the day was 12 yards. He had 11 targets and 1 very, very costly fumble. I'll give you those stats again. Drake London, 7 receptions, 7 catches, 70 yards, average 10 yards per catch. Longest catch of the day was 12 yards, and he had 11 targets with 1 costly fumble. What grade would y'all give the Champagne Poppy for yesterday? Facebook users titled one more time. My name is not showing up. What you got to do, Facebook user, is if you look at my caption where I wrote the caption grading our players after the Aints game, there's a second paragraph right under that. Click that link on that second paragraph, and it'll allow you to write your name. You got to click that link in order to do it, and that'll give StreamYard permission to show. To show your profile and also your name. But you got to click that link in order to do it. So just look under my caption, then click that link, and then you'll be all to the good. David says a 6. Got to docking for the fumble. Yeah, you do. Winston's a 5. Good game beforehand, but those late game fumbles has got to go. I totally agree. Norman gives him a 7. Rusty says a 7. Fumble might have cost us a whole W. I agree. Jay says that fumble makes it hard for me, but 7. Yep. Yeah. A fumble stick out, man. Like, bro, that's another costly fumble. Let's tally him up real quick. Let's see, 5.5. It's gonna be a 6.3. Even with the constant fumble, y'all, we got him around a 6.3, 6.4, maybe 6.5. Fairly good game. Fairly good. We say fairly good because again, that fumble really hurt. I mean, if you don't fumble the ball, you're probably in the eights. So we gotta knock you down some points, give you some demerits. So 6.5, fairly good. It goes without saying, hey youngster, you gotta clean up the fumbles, man. That's the second one this year. So you really, really gotta clean up those fumbles. Really gotta clean up those fumbles. So let's keep moving on. Let's go to let's go to our running backs. Let's start off with CP, Cordero Patterson. Patterson had 14 carries, 52 yards, 3.7 yards per carry, one rushing touchdown. Longest carry of the day was 11 yards. I'll repeat, Cordero Patterson had 14 carries for 52 yards, 3.7 yards per attempt, one touchdown. Longest carry of the day was 11 yards. What is y'all grade for Cordero Patterson for yesterday's game? Cordero Patterson. David has him at a 6. Surprisingly passive yesterday. Ran side to side too much. He might be getting a little tired. You remember last year, David, around about this time, his production really fell off a lot. So he might be hitting that point of the season where that body then got a little tired on him. He got a little bit of age on him. He on the other side of 30. Norman gives him a 7. Winston gives him a 6. Say he did his average on the season since he's came back, but I think the torch has passed. I tend to agree with you on that, my friend. I tend to agree. Jay Jones says 6. He started slow like that 85 like that 85 in the drive. It took me a moment to catch on what you meant, Jay. Oh man. Eric, what's up, Eric? It says 6. What's going on with you? Says that was me that wasn't showing up. Okay. Well, you're in the game now. I don't know. Your name had been showing up, so I don't know why it went away. But yeah, I see you got us down for a 6. Let's get the tally here for CP. So 6.5, 6.3, 6.2. He's right about a 6.2, 6.3. Fairly good game. Fairly good. Not bad. Not very good. Certainly not great. Fairly good game. Fairly good game. Was still productive for us, but not the CP from earlier in the season. Still a fairly good game. Now let's go to of course, the last running back we'll do today will be Tyler Algier. Career game for the young man. 17 carries, 139 rushing yards. He averaged 8.2 yards per attempt, one touchdown. Longest carry of the day was 43 yards. And he also had one catch, but it was for negative yards, so we won't even worry about that. But let me give you Tyler Algier stats again. 17 carries, 139 yards. He averaged 8.2 yards per rush, one touchdown. Longest rush of the day was 43 yards. So what do y'all give Tyler Algier for yesterday? David gives him a perfect 10. So we got 110 in the building. No, this is going to be the highest grade of the day. Norman gives him a 9, says 9. He showed up to play. Eric gives him a 10 plus. So another 10 coming in for Algier. Any other grades for Tyler Algier? 17 carries, 139 39 yards, 1 touchdown. Oh, how many first downs did he get? Oh, so I didn't even look at that, huh? Let me see. Because I know he got a lot for us yesterday. How many first downs did Algier get? 8 first downs. Wow. Tyler Algier gave us 8 first downs yesterday. Damn. Putting in that work. Winston says a 10. That man did all you could ask of a rookie running back to help your rookie quarterback. This game moved him to the lead dog for the season. I totally agree with Winston. Absolutely agree. Russ says Tyler Algier gets a 10. Reminds me of the Burner. Yeah, man. Burner has a great season for the Falcons. You're right. They kind of do got like a little similar running style. As far as their running style go, I can see that. Definitely can see that. Jay Jones says 8.5. Still needs to work on that vision. Good, hard runner. I like it. Yeah, that's one thing about him, man. He runs tough. He finishes runs, man. He's a punisher. And like you said, you got to like that about him. So let's see what we got for him. We got a 10. 9.9. He's right at like a 9.8, maybe 9.7. So pretty much for the very most part, a perfect game for him. Perfect game, 9.7, 9.8. Perfect game. That was a career game for him. Probably was his coming out party. As somebody mentioned earlier, that he probably passed the torch. The passing probably had the torch passed to him today. Probably our lead dog going forward. So, hey, man, kid, we can't ask for much more. Keep it up, man. Fantastic game. Superb game. Excellent game. So let's finish off the players with Mr. Ritter from Cincinnati making his first start yesterday, coming in relief duty for Marcus Mariota, who has been ousted. Or quit, should I say. But let's get to the numbers, man. Desmond Ritter yesterday completed 13 passes out of 26 passing attempts. 97 total passing yards, 3.7 yards per attempt, no touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles. He was sacked 4 times. His QBR was 31.9. His rating was 59.3. I'll give you those numbers once again. Desmond Ritter completed 13 passes out of 26 attempts. He had 97 yards passing, 3.7 yards per attempt passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles, sacked 4 times. Had a QBR of 31.9 and a rating of 59.3. So, what grade do y'all give our rookie for yesterday's performance? Let's see, David says a 4, but it was his first start. Rustin says might have to consider cutting CP. Oh no, Rustin says gonna cut CP. Bro has been slow, injury prone that last half of last year and this year. Yeah, I think Rustin, what happens at the end of the year, man, like I just think the wear and tear of the season starts to catch up with him, man. I think his body starts to get a little exhausted. Eric says 5, dude was very poised. Norman says 4.5, rookie jitters, but to be expected. I totally agree. Winston says the 4, got to get over the nerves. Got to get over the jitterbugs. But yeah, we are grading our rookie, man. Desmond Ritter. Any other grades for Ritter before we tally them up here? So let's see, that's 4. So for Desmond Ritter, he's about at a 4.3, 4.4. So slightly below average, but again, as we all know, his rookie game. So we kind of expected the jitterbugs, the nervous energy. Hold on, we got one more coming in. Rusty says Dez gets a 7 for me. He handled the pre-snap stuff brilliantly and a little erratic, but overall, I liked him. So that's going to take that 4.3 up to closer to 4.7, 4.8. So now slightly above average, slightly above mediocre from him. Definitely a lot to work on, a lot to improve on, a lot to learn. But overall, there were some things that we liked about what we saw. So hopefully the game against Baltimore will be much, much, much better. Much better. And that's pretty much it, y'all. That is it. We normally do the coaches, but I'm gonna bypass on the coaches tonight, especially with Dean Pease getting injured. So we'll give the coaches a break. And I think y'all would have threw some tomatoes at Arthur Smith also, because I saw that he got criticized pretty heavily for his scheme and also his play calling. Jay says he's going to hold off on his grades until next week, and I can definitely respect that. Definitely respect that. Any word on Pease? No, I haven't heard anything, but I did hear during the game yesterday he was released from the hospital and on his way back to the game. So I'm going to assume that he's doing fine. That's my assumption. But that's all I got, y'all. Like I said, we're gonna bypass the coaches this week with P's going down, so we'll get the coaches a break on the grades. We'll be back next week to do the grades against Baltimore, which will be Ritter's, of course, second start. So hopefully we'll see him play a whole lot better and actually start the game, being more poised and comfortable and not so apparently nervous. But like always, y'all, hey man, I appreciate the time. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Hold on. Davis Pease was cleared to fly back with the team, so he's fine. Okay, cool. So he's doing good. He's back up to speed. But as always, y'all, I appreciate y'all rock with me, man. Thank you for the interaction. I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all the next time I see y'all. Peace.